What's up, fuckers? This is not good. We just recorded a full hour podcast, and then Tinho's camera was not working.
Was not work.
So
recorded the first half an hour and then didn't record because it splits it into two. It's annoying.
Yeah, so both of our phones split it into 2 half-hour videos. So first of all, the second half hour on Tinho's phone didn't exist. Then he watches the first half hour. We were like, maybe we could just redo the second half.
Out of sync.
It was like
a like talking and then
like,
not. It's
hello.
So stupid. But here we are.
So anyway,
round 2.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna briefly go over some of the major things we talked about. The argument that I promised last time, and then the questions that you asked us, because obviously people want to hear their answers. We will go through those. They will not be as long-winded as normal. And then, thank God, everybody say thank you to Katya for sending me 30 fucking questions and giving us new content. Also, we have a backup. I am screen recording our Discord call, so if anything goes wrong, we won't have to refilm it for the third time and look like we're just dead inside and like, yeah, I fucking guess, like, tell me about your work day, you fucking idiot. Like,
oh my god.
Okay. Let's jump into these arguments. Ices are better than Slurpees. I say they're better because ices are fluffy, they're carbonated, they're soft, and I think that's all I said. Those are the main points. Carbonated and fluffy, they're so much better.
Slurpees, more flavors, more options, better for mixing, better for drinking. Ices, I feel like by the time that you're done with them, it isn't like they're not good anymore flavor-wise. If anything, Slurpees get better flavor-wise near the end because they're all like melty. Oh, so good.
I don't like that they melt. I don't like how quickly they melt, though.
I don't like that ice melts. Well, okay, go somewhere on fucking in the universe where that doesn't happen.
And with Slurpees, they get like, you get, by the end of it, you've got a chunk of Slurp left that is unflavored and then flavored water. And it's like, bleh, like, I don't think I've ever finished a Slurpee.
What?
Because it just gets to be a
you
fucking mess.
Mix it, or like let it like melt to catch up with itself.
At a certain point, it gets to be a pain.
You're a fucking pain.
I will concede though on the fact that Slurpees are better for mixing. I love mixing Slurpees,
and they have better flavors. The flavors for ices are shit.
But they're
poo-poo.
Okay,
they're
shit.
They're
bad.
not good.
They are plain. They are more plain Jane, and they don't really mix them. But they are top tier flavors. Good flavor. Hey.
No.
Don't give me that face.
Literally.
Okay, next. Honeydew is better than cantaloupe. I say honeydew is better. It tastes better. Tinho gave me a bunch of bullshit that is not valid.
Cantaloupe. Okay, here's the bullshit that is valid. Cantaloupe's texture is better. It's softer. It's
Tinho
like
doesn't understand ripeness.
Oh my god.
You're wrong.
I don't understand ripeness.
I'm gonna Google.
I guarantee.
And okay, I'm gonna put them on screen.
On the topic of ripeness, since you know so much, Grocer. I feel like cantaloupe. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like cantaloupe has a larger window of being good than honeydew.
It probably does.
Okay, and that's
probably
why it's
people
better.
Like it more because
that's why it's better.
Because it means that people are more likely to have had good cantaloupe than they are to have had good honeydew.
Well, that means it's better.
No, it's not. That's
what?
That's
if I'm no. Shut up. If I'm good at something more often than somebody who is good at something less often than them, I am better. No. If I cook you a steak, and it's don't talk about steak,
and it's great.
The authority that Jordan holds to talk about steak.
Listen, if I cook you
out
a steak,
the window, no steak,
and it's
what's
your favorite food, Tinho?
Make it about something else, not steak.
If I make you some chicken,
you do not have the clearance to talk about steak.
If I make you some chicken wings, and they're fantastic, and then Gordon Ramsay makes you some chicken wings, and he fucks up. Does that mean that Gordon Ramsay is worse than me?
That's not the same thing.
Yeah. You have to compare.
How is that the same thing?
You have to compare ripe honeydew to ripe cantaloupe.
And ripe honeydew is Gordon Ramsay. You better shut the fuck up right now. You better shut the hell up right now.
You can't say cantaloupe's better because you're more likely to get a ripe cantaloupe.
No, it's better because it's just a better fruit. It's riper at a larger window of time. You can enjoy it and then be like, oh, I don't have to be under the 5th moon of December to have a good honeydew. Like, you can just have a cantaloupe and it's good most of the time.
Okay, I'm glad that we have to reshoot now because you didn't bring up this ripeness window thing the first time, and it's now the world can see how full of shit you are.
I would much rather cantaloupe because it's easier.
It's more convenient because you can buy it and it's probably right.
And it's just like, I would rather not deal with the 90% possibility that the honeydew I'm eating is poo-poo shit. It's not good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, and that's why it's better.
But the conversation is not honeydew is more convenient than cantaloupe.
The conversation is which is better, and I just explained why it's better.
It's better for eating when they're both ripe. Okay.
Next.
And I'm going to put this one into context this time.
Oh, yeah, because last time... Oh, my God.
Robes are better for pajamas for just hanging around the house. Not for sleeping in. For hanging around the house, robes are better.
Jordan would be presenting these things in the most misconstrued way in order to make his point sound like it makes sense.
No, it's not what I'm doing.
Go on. It is exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
Go on.
You have pajama set. It's like the soft, fabricy pajama material. We're not talking about, oh, this is my shirt, my fat shirt from high school, and it's my pajama shirt. That's not pajamas. We're talking about soft pajama material, tops and bottoms. Or you got a robe. My robe is out of reach. You got a robe, and you put on some underwear, and you're sitting in your robe. It's better. It's more flowy. It's more comfortable. You can just flip. It's off. Well, it's back on.
I mean, you can literally do that with clothes, but okay. You can literally do that with clothes, but...
No. But it's the difference between taking off your shirt and taking off a hoodie. It's just on and off. It's not. And it's...
You sound like the dumbest person I've ever met.
Robes are better. They're more comfy.
But we're putting two things against each other that don't even belong in the same category.
Two types of loungewear.
But they're like, I don't consider pajamas loungewear.
What do you consider? That's why
I consider them pajamas. No, you buy pajamas to sleep in pajamas.
You buy pajamas, you put them on, and you hang out.
Sure, you can hang out with them, in them.
How many people are actually buying pajamas and they put them on as they get into bed?
How many people are buying pajamas?
That's not what I said. How many people are buying pajamas for the purpose of, I put on my pajamas and I'm getting into bed, and then I get out of bed and I take them off.
That's what pajamas are for. What do you mean?
No, they're not.
What? What do you mean?
If I buy B pajamas for Christmas,
she puts them on to sleep in them.
No, you put them on to wear when you're chilling.
I'm gonna knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. You put on pajamas to sleep in. Of course, if you wake up, let's say the next day, you keep your pajamas on until you are to go to outside or whatever. You just change into your day clothes or whatever. But you don't... I wouldn't buy pajamas to wear them to not sleep in. What? What do you mean?
Okay.
Oh, she's speechless now. Next topic.
Wait, first I just want to say, if you are sleeping, this is aside from the point. If you are sleeping in anything, if you're a man and you have two options, your underwear or you're naked. If you're a woman, you got two options. You get three options. Your underwear, you're naked, or you have a shirt on. Girls can wear shirts because they got boobies.
That sounds awfully controlling, but...
If you're sleeping in anything more than that, you're a fucking sociopath. How do you sleep in pants and a shirt? Who can do that?
Sometimes in the winter, because I don't really like blankets, I've slept in like
you don't like
pajama
blankets?
pants. No, not really. I don't know. I just get hot.
I don't need something heavy, but I need something over me.
Jordan be at my house. Be at my house in the fucking the throes of July humidity, and he sleeps with like in a blanket. It gives me fucking hives thinking about it. Like he's in a blanket.
A better way to put this is that I ask you, where is the blanket that I always sleep in? And you tell me, we put it away for the summer because it's a big blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's comfy. It's comfy.
It's comfy, but how don't you... Hold on. I feel like it's getting darker in here, and just for the sake of
it is.
Not fucking up another filming setup, I'm going to open the curtain, so...
Okay.
Okay. What was the next... This pajama, we have to move on, because you're stupid. Like, we have to move on.
Okay, I just gotta say one more thing. I've been having to sleep in long sleeve shirts this week because I have a new tattoo on my arm. I don't want to scratch it.
That's one thing that I will...
You're a fucking maniac.
That's fucking rotted. Sleeping in a long sleeve shirt.
Anyway, the final one is actually Tinho swayed me on this, and this was actually... No, that's not even fair to say. I had the loosest opinion on this anyway.
Okay.
But it's more of a preference. But I think TV shows are a better medium for storytelling than movies. Because you get more time to know the characters and flesh them out and character development. And also, I, as a person with mental illness, get very attached to characters. Whew. And then if it's a movie, it's like, oh, I love this person. I need more. 2 hours is gone. That's all I get with them, unless it's a franchise. So that's why I like TV
what I
shows.
said here is that I like TV shows for lighter content, like comedies, like shows like The Office or funny, shows that aren't supposed to be, serious. But I typically like movies better because they deal with heavier narrative themes in a more succinct way, as movies have to do. And I feel like if you try to take that into a show, oftentimes it drags. It's not as effective as, like... It's not as piercing. The content isn't as, it doesn't get to you in the same way as a movie does. Like, I'll name one and you're gonna fucking lose your mind. But Hannibal, like, that show was so good in the first season, and then every season after that, 2 and 3, and I think 3 was the last one, it just, like, it felt so... It almost felt too produced, or it felt too... it was just dragging on, and it felt like I had already seen the best of that show, and I feel like this with a lot of shows. I feel like I had experienced the best of that show, and that was in the past, and now all I'm seeing is, like, subpar shit. And that bugs me. I hate that. So that's why I prefer movies in that respect.
Anyway.
And you can't even argue with that because, like,
I think Hannibal is one of the best shows of all time, unbiased. Wow. So
well, it is a show. You're right about that.
All right, so those were our big disagreements. I hope you choose the correct side.
Fuck. You're so dumb. You're so stupid.
Here's a question I asked Tinho. Do you think Epstein went to the Bohemian Grove? I think he did. Tinho didn't know what the Bohemian Grove was. I explained it to him.
Listen.
You've got a secret location, no cameras allowed, nobody can know what's going on there, men only, and it's all rich people and politicians. Epstein's there fucking
I mean, 100%. Oh my god, stop. Ew. 100%, if it is a place... If it is such a secretive... It is a place. If it is such like a secretive place like that, I think there's a very, very good chance that he was there at one point or another, doing some... pedophilic activity as he did.
The pizza guy refusing to touch the door. To explain quickly, to those who don't know, my place of work, I am behind bulletproof glass. To get into the back, there is a door. You go through, there's a little small room, and then there's another door you got to go through to get to the back. I'm not allowed to go into the lobby during, like, business hours. So a couple weeks ago, I order a pizza. The guy comes in, opens the door to get into my lobby from the outside world, and I come up and I'm like, oh, can you just leave it on the shelf in this little room? No, I won't touch the doorknob. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I won't touch the doorknob.
But he touched the doorknob to get in.
He's scared of, like, getting COVID from a doorknob that only I have touched that day, and that when I touched it, was with a sanitized wipe, and I opened it and I walked in.
Holy fuck.
Meanwhile, he fully opened the door of the grubby, disgusting, I'm not going to say that. That sounds bad. That all my customers have been touching all day. I was like, wait,
well,
what are you thinking?
like I said earlier, you could have given him like a wipe to open the door with.
I could have.
That probably would have been the simplest, easiest.
I mean, it
solution to
wasn't like a long, full-blown like argument. I was just like, I had to convince him. And then it didn't even
Please give
occur to
me
me
my
until
fucking
after he
pizza.
left. I was like, wait, he touched a door to come in here. That
Slide the
everyone's been
pizza.
touching.
Slide the pizza slice by slice into the little slot.
Oh, Jesus.
Or if you have a hole, just pop them in.
I'm ready.
Feed me, pizza man.
Somebody's gonna screenshot that and put a dick on my mouth.
Anyway,
Let's get into some questions. Before we get into the actual questions, I just want to address. I had a few people ask me if we'll have any guest stars, any guests on the podcast. The answer is yes, but we don't know when because as you can tell, we're doing this remotely because of quarantine. The plan for after quarantine is we're gonna set up a set
be in like a room.
in Tino's house with nice natural lighting and a desk with ornaments, and it's gonna be nice.
Ornaments.
It's gonna be
Fuck.
cool. And at that point, we'll have guests. And I mentioned this before. I think Raph would be a really good guest. For those who don't know, Raph is an. But I think he would make a very entertaining guest because he's got a lot of stupid opinions and he says dumb things without thinking, or maybe thinking. but
Jordan. Well, that's why we have Jordan here too.
Yes. We might have Katya on because she lives in Alberta, so she could just hop in a Discord call with us anyway. But that would take some arranging.
Finessing.
So who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But the short answer is yes, we will in the future. Thank you for thinking about our future.
God knows I'm not.
All right. Cynthia asks, and I'm going to modify this question. If one of you gets stung by a jellyfish, would you voluntarily piss on the other to soothe their wound? I think a better question is, would you let the other piss on you? Now, we have established...
What? What do you mean? Just period? Would you let the other person piss on you? Without a circumstance that would require it?
No. I mean, like in the jellyfish scenario, but like, would you let the person piss on you rather than would you piss on them? Because like, of course I'll piss on Tinho. What's that got to do with me?
I mean, piss on me. I don't know. Like, if I've been stung by a jellyfish...
We did set the parameter that...
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yes.
I want to know what that feels like.
Bad? Probably depending on the jellyfish, it's probably like a pretty bad beast. No, wait.
But I've never been stung by a bee either.
Really?
No.
Or a wasp? Doesn't it like their tendrils like wrap around you and then it's like you have like a sting line?
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I've seen ones before that look like that. That are like it's like a bunch of like little like you know?
Okay, wait.
Anywhere.
Could you imagine getting like wrapped up in a Portuguese man-o-war?
You die.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to. Because also you're drowning.
Well, yeah.
Ain't no getting out of that.
Yeah, no. I've never been stung by a wasp, so I have no idea like what that would feel like.
I can't believe that. Especially
but do
with
we
your
know,
fucking backyard.
Are we fully aware that that's a thing that works? Like, I feel like I've read somewhere that that's a myth. That pee
I have
helps.
no idea. I don't really see how it would.
Well, I feel like it's because of the like enzymes or something in your piss that like soothes pain for like topical things like that. But
okay, actually, you know what I'm thinking right now? There is a scene in The Office where Michael says it didn't get better even though I peed on it. So that makes me think it is not true.
Yeah, no.
Because they made a joke about it.
I feel like I've heard somewhere that it is a myth that peeing on a jellyfish sting helps it.
So assuming it is not a myth.
Assuming it works, piss
Tinho
on
would
me.
love a golden shower.
I mean, as long as it's anywhere, like, if it's nowhere near my face, because if it is, I will actually throw up. Like, I will throw up. But, if it was, like, on my leg, like, why... Why would I care? Even the slightest.
Ew, gay. Speaking of gay, our resident gay friend, Nick, asks, why you so gay?
That's a really good question. Can
let's
you
talk
answer?
about Tino's gay walk.
Oh my god, my gay walk. So
My fucking favorite part of the episode.
As I've gone through life, I have been, well, a lot of people think that I'm gay, and I'm not, for the most part, at least. But a lot of people have thought that I was gay for one way or reason or another. A lot of the time it's the way that I talk, or a lot of the time it's the things that I like, or whatever, so on and so forth. But one of them, a big one in high school that I got a lot, was that I had a gay walk. And this, to this day, I'm not really sure how gay my walk was or why it was gay. From what I understand, maybe I was just too, like, flouncy and too, like, peppy with walking. I don't know. But I tried to fix this because I don't really care if people think that I'm gay. Like, that doesn't really bug me. I care because it becomes so, like, just annoying to have to, constantly be like, oh, Tinho, you walk gay. Do you suck dick? And it's like, well, no, but...
I mean, to be fair, also, when you're in high school, your brain is kind of like...
Yeah. So I was
like,
becoming...
Hey, you call me gay.
I was becoming self-conscious about the way that I walk, because I just don't like when people, like, look at me, period. So the fact that I knew that people were looking at me so intently enough to form an opinion on the way that I walked, that was making me a little self-conscious. So I tried to adjust this by, like, really out-turning my feet and kicking them when I walked, and, like, sort of having, like, a wider stance when I walked, too.
So basically giving yourself knock knees.
Yeah, trying to, like, really fucking, I don't know, shake it up. And then one day I'm walking to the mall with my mom, and I'm walking ahead of her a little bit, and after a couple minutes of walking ahead of her, she kind of, like, speeds up to be beside me, and she's like, why are you walking like that? What the hell is that? And I'm like, that's just how I walk. Like, that's just, like, my super straight mask walk. Like, what do you mean? It's natural, right? And she's like, you look like there's something wrong with you. Why are you walking that way? And so she just gave me shit about my walk for, like, the whole time there. And then we get back and, like, we sit down and have a chat. 'Cause she's like, what is this? Like, why are you suddenly walking like you have
Do you have a disability?
Like you have, like, a fucking bum knee and, like, a club foot. Like, why are you walking like that? And so I tell her, I'm like, oh, it's because, like, like, some people think that my walk is gay. And she looks at me and she was like... And it honest to God, like, it looked like she was, like, thinking, like, maybe you're right. Like, maybe your walk is gay. But she didn't say that. And she was just like, I think you just need to walk normally, because I think you look stupider walking like that than if your walk was just gay. And I'm like, maybe you have a point. And so from then on, I dialed it down a little bit with my straight walk. And I think by now I'm out of high school for quite a bit. I've met at a sort of middle point between my gay walk and my straight walk, and now I think it's perfectly sexually ambiguous. So that's all I can ask for, really.
I had a similar thing too, where people always thought I was gay, and like the picture of me and Tinho where we're just watching TV, and this random guy on my Facebook comments, "What is this, man?
What is this, man?"
We're just
that's
hanging
so
out.
funny. It's like, well,
but I mean, I guess my real answer is, like, over the years, I mean, this is actually more of a recent thing, maybe in the past year or two, I have become more, like, aware of and fine with the fact that there's some girl in me, and that's cool. And, like, obviously in high school, you have these thoughts and you're like, am I gay? Like, what is this? And now and like obviously you wonder like what's popping.
Well, see, the bottom, my legs are gay, but I'm not gay.
So basically, I've landed at why you so gay? Well, I know I'm straight, but I'm pretty girl also. So that's my answer. You're welcome,
That's fair.
Nick. I hope that helps.
I think it's a fair conclusion to that.
This one's from Bao, and she messaged me and she sent me this question, and I said, "Shut the fuck up and fuck off." And then she said, "That's a real question. Do you smell your farts?"
Yes.
Now, I don't know why this
Yes.
is, but of course everyone does. And people are ashamed of it. And it's like, sure, farts are gross.
People are ashamed of it?
And
Baby, you shit with that ass? What do you mean?
I don't understand that, like, I think biologically we are wired to
Fart?
be okay with, to be okay with the smell of our farts and whatever. It's like, if somebody beside me farts, I'm like, I can't believe you've done this. But if I fart, I'm like, that's what it is. And I know that's like a thing that we have evolved to have in our brains. I can't think of the evolutionary advantage there. Why? What does that help you?
I think that we are not even remotely smart enough to discuss the evolutionary function of anything. But in terms of farts,
Fair.
I think it's just like our body's way of being like, hey, don't throw up. It's just you, my guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like a bear comes out and you fart in fear, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna be sick, and then the bear just eats you.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to bring the bear into that, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I don't know why the bear has to be a part of that.
Okay, we got one more before the Katya question gauntlet. We should probably not spend so much time on this one this time. Me and Tino got it. It's probably good that the first version of this podcast fucked up. We talked about 9/11 for like 15
minutes.
Who were the real perpetrators of 9/11?
See,
I know Tino doesn't want to answer this.
No. It's not that I don't want to answer this. It's that I can't, and nobody can. Like, what?
Well, nobody can. But what I asked Tino, my extension of the question, because we talked about 9/11 for quite some time, and we didn't really get anywhere. So I said, you got to bet. Was the government involved at all? And Tino said, I will not bet.
Why would I bet on that? That is so...
Gun to your head, you got to bet. Let's try this again. Gun to your head, you got to bet.
This is okay.
You're not going to get canceled for this.
Changing. No, I don't care. Like it's not something that I'm saying. Like there is so much different and weird information out there about 9/11 that I can't formulate a like succinct opinion on who did 9/11 because I just don't. I'm not sure. I don't know. I would like to think. I would like to think that it is the answer that we've been given. It was just a simple. It was just an unfortunate terrorist attack. However, the conspiracy theorist and pessimist in me searches for more, which a lot of other people have. And when we first discussed this, I talked about the conspiracy the conspiracy theory pyramid, and like how we'll throw this up on screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. It starts off at the bottom with like very sort of harmless conspiracy theories, like I don't know, shit like aliens and like Area 51 or whatever. And then as you go up the pyramid, it starts to get a little more nefarious and disconnected from reality. And because of that, I have been more wary of subscribing to conspiracy theories because I don't want to be somebody who is like, we live in a world where right now more than ever it's very factually tumultuous. So I would hate to be.
That is a very good way to put it.
I would hate to be the kind of person who is anti-fact. So for that reason, I always take conspiracy theories, as you should with everything, with a very large grain of salt. Which is why I'm not going to sit here and be like, Bush did 9/11, because I can't answer that. I don't know.
To those watching from home, let me tell y'all, he's a lot more fun to talk to about this off podcast.
What do you mean? I'm not like fearing. Oh, the 5 people that are our friends who already watch this are gonna.
Oh my God,
you.
your fiance is gonna cancel you.
No, I'm serious. I don't think I would like to believe the answer we've been given is true. However, I'm very well aware that it's sus.
All right, here's my answer. I am fully certain that the government was involved to some degree. So I'm not saying Bush did 9/11, right? I'm not. Maybe they didn't plan it, or maybe they did. Maybe they knew it. They had intel that it was going to happen, and they were like, "This is going to throw America into a good direction for us. So let's let it happen."
And that's what I mentioned too. Like, I think that when we talk about 9/11, we have to think about what 9/11 did to America, and like that is the only thing that gets me thinking otherwise in terms of what happened and how it happened.
Okay, before we go into the Katya Gauntlet, you should check if you're recording. Okay, we're back. We just did a little phone check because now we're paranoid of disaster. Phone check, phone battery check. Okay, Katya has sent in like 30 questions. Thank God, so we have as much shit as we need. The only one that we read was any upcoming has a new album coming out in November. It is November. There might be a release date by the time you're watching this. Go follow him on Instagram. He's great. This Is Us, the new season premiered last week, and it's been a very crazy start. So I'm excited every week for the new episodes. And I wouldn't say hyped for Cyberpunk, but I might buy it. Maybe. I know Tinho has some opinions on Cyberpunk.
I just don't think it's gonna be that good. That's something I'll bet on. I will bet on Cyberpunk being cyberwhelming.
Isn't the developer like very good though?
So?
Okay, checkmate.
I just think that it's not gonna be okay, let me rephrase. I don't think it's gonna be as good as people are thinking it's gonna be.
I mean, it was announced.
It's not going to be Game of the Year.
So this is a lot of hype.
It's not going to be game. It was announced 8 years ago. What?
2012.
Why is I feel like I heard about this the first time like last year.
I feel like I first heard about it 3 years ago. Maybe.
I definitely do not remember hearing about it any time before 2018.
I read about it being announced 8 years ago, and I'm like, that can't be right. It's right. It's true.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully it's good, but I don't think it will be.
You mentioned you were excited for
Demon Souls.
Is that what it's called?
Oh my God. Yes. And the thing is, like, I'm not gonna have a PS5, and then from what I understand, it's a PS5 exclusive. So I'm like on the brink of just buying a PS5 specifically for that. But like, I need more games to be announced that are like worth my goddamn time. Especially because like, the launch consoles are always buggy and stupid, and there's always a bunch of shit with them. And that, with the added FOMO of, like, later down the line, they're 100% going to release, like, special edition consoles, PS5 consoles. And they're going to be, like, fun ones with, like, you know, thematics to them in terms of the aesthetics of them. And that's good, because I think the current PS5 looks fugly. Like, I don't like the white.
It shouldn't be white.
I don't like the white, and I also I think the white makes the overall design of it, like the way that it's built, look weird too. Like, I think that if it were all black, it wouldn't look as clunky.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Have you seen the texture on the controller?
Yeah, it's like little X's and O's and cool. All the little buttons. Yeah, that's cool. Like, I think it looks good, and I actually do like how the controller looks. I just don't like the way that the actual console itself looks. So hopefully when they release more later
I'm
on,
not big on the white.
There's like a better looking console, so I'm waiting on that.
D-Brain probably make a good skin for it.
Yeah, but I don't like skins. I just like...
I've never had a skin like that kind of skin. I kind of want to get one for my new phone because they have some nice pastel ones. I don't know, maybe. What do we got? What's your favorite board/tabletop game? You're a Scrabble king.
Board/tabletop. I mean, Scrabble's fine, but like it's fun like once in a while. I used to play a lot of the Game of Life.
I've never
played
it.
Played that?
No.
It's so fun. And it's kind of funny too. I like the Game of Life. I've always wanted to get into like really interesting like D&D-esque tabletops.
Me too.
That are like
me too.
Cool, but like I've never actually
we bought
gone
all
out
the
and
D&D
bought
stuff
one.
like 3 years ago when you were at your apartment, right? We were all ready to try it, and then we just never did.
Yeah, well, you know,
one day.
D&D is like a big undertaking, so like
that's like
starting a new campaign in D&D
play
is
D&D
like
for like a year,
a full-time job.
I've been playing
What's
one
yours?
with Dan called Terraforming Mars, and it's
Terraforming Mars.
It takes about so there's 2 ways to play it. There are these little like so one way in the one way that we play it, you get 2 bonus cards at the start, which basically give you a fat fucking advantage. If you use those 2 bonus cards, it's about a 4-hour game. If you don't use them, it's like I believe 6 or 7, which is a little too much. So we never play that.
I fear that my attention span.
So usually what we'll do is we'll start playing Terraforming Mars, and then an hour or 2 in we'll order a pizza, and then take a break, and then get back into it. Because the game is divided into, you have turns, and then you have generations. So we'll stop at a generation, because that's like a very good spot to stop, and then restart.
Okay.
That's definitely my favorite. I liked Dominion. It's like a pretty simple like kind of card game, but it was cool. I played that for a little bit. Again, I played it with Dan, and then I came home and I played it online. But yeah, it's definitely Terraforming Mars. And Terraforming Mars is only like $60 too. Whereas Dan has
they're expensive.
Dan has tabletop like board games that are like $300.
Oh my!
And the
God,
boxes are like this big. Like,
it's just overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. I think I've played Terraforming Mars with them 5 or 6 times, and every time they have to re-teach me a little bit of it. A little bit less each time.
You are like stupid.
So. No, I mostly get it, but it's like, and there's also, I never win because first of all, you can't win a game against Dan. But more importantly, there's too much to keep track of. Like, you have your cards and resources, and then there's
your monkey brain.
And then there's shit on the board that you can buy. And if you buy these things on the board, you get more victory points at the end of the game. I get to the end of the game, I got like 3 things on the board. Dan and Sam each have like 15. And I'm like, my cards are so good.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't do too much. I can't.
Alrighty, let's jump into one last question here before we fuck off for the day.
Okay.
Pick a wild card here.
Okay. I just froze. This one's no, let's do this one. Do you believe in the paranormal stories, experiences?
Yes.
Do you have any experiences?
Yes. Okay, I have a couple, but I'll narrow it down to one. I have an attic. First of all, yes, I believe in anything paranormal, or in any case, I have an attic in my house, and it's not like an attic where like, you know, the ones where you pull down the like little stairs in the ceiling or whatever. It's like an actual like, it's almost like a 3rd floor, I guess, more than it is an attic. But in any case, there's 2 rooms up there, and one of them is the room that I stayed in for a lot of my like teenage years, because the 2nd floor of my house was under construction for a chunk of like my high school life, so my room had to be moved to the 3rd floor while they were doing all the like renovations or whatever. So
there's some good fucking memories up there.
Oh my god, yeah. So
too hot though.
It was too hot. The AC never reached up there. And then in the summer, it was a fucking, like, felt like I was living in a Tupperware container. So up there, it's the 2 rooms. They're right next to each other. There's the room that I was staying in, which faces the same way that I'm facing now. It, like, faces outside. So there's, like, a window that, like, looks down on the street. And so that the room that I'm in right now has the very same window, not the same window, but like the same view, except I'm lower down.
One big window going two wow, we're rich. We're so rich.
Long, skinny window that just goes up my house. No, so there's the window that looks out onto the street, and then the other room doesn't have any windows. It's just like a room. And so my room where I slept was the one where had the window and the one out facing the street, and then the other room was just full of like shit. Like there's just like storage in there. It's just like a bunch of random shit. So there would be a lot of times where like I would be in my room like sleeping or on my laptop or whatever, and I would always hear like specifically like hear things moving around in the
don't say the other room.
The other room, the other like the one that's right next to it. And like the way that it was set up is like I'm so bad at like trying to like speak visually and like try to make people visualize things, but like there was my door and then there was this door, so they were like sort of perpendicular to each other, like it was like a little triangle. And so I would come out of my room and go directly into the other room because a lot of the time I would leave that door open because it didn't close properly. I guess the house has warped over time, so like the door doesn't shut. To shut it, you have to like really push on it. So like I would just leave it open because like it's too much to fucking deal with. And like I would sometimes rush in there, and the way that the lights
you
work
rushed
up there,
in to catch it.
Yeah, like you know that
Gotcha!
like that vine, the vine where it's like
we're gonna have to put
it's
this
just a
on
video.
screen.
We'll put it in the screen where the girl's like, and for my I think she's like, for my next drink, and then in the background there's like a curtain that's like moving.
So for today's drink,
and she fucking just like jumps at it. Please slow that up. Anyway, that would be me. Like I would hear a noise in the other room, and I knew that it was coming from the other room. And so I would literally just like dash out and right into the other room right away. And the way that the lights worked is that there's a light you go up the stairs to the attic and there's a light at the top. You turn it on, but that light at the top doesn't work. The light only works the bottom. So you can only turn on like the sort of upstairs light from the bottom of the stairs. So I'd have to like run into the other room, turn on the lights, and there was like a delay for that light switch for some reason. Like you'd turn it on, but the lights wouldn't come on right away.
The door is ajar, one light doesn't work, one light is delayed. This is very like just haunted things.
And so I would rush in and like I would just be in like a fucking throw of panic because I'm in the dark. I'm like waiting for the light to turn on, and then of course obviously there'd be nothing there ever. But like it would happen way too often for it to be something. It would happen way too often, and it felt way too deliberate. Like it didn't feel like it was just like something rustling or like.
So it didn't sound like a rap.
Something was. No. Like it would felt like something was like being heavily moved or like being sort of knocked.
Okay.
And I fucking the entire time that I lived up there, I detested it because it would like I'd just become hyper aware of it, and that maybe made me hear more things that perhaps weren't there entirely, and it would just fuck with me so much. So yeah, that was my second room.
Damn, you really... I didn't know that,
roommate.
and you really had to tell me that when I'm about to move up there.
Right? You're just gonna
Thank you. I
and
can't
like
wait.
that room, the thing is, like, that room was so full of stuff that, like, you to walk around in it, you have to sort of, like, walk around things, and it's easy to, like, bump into stuff.
So that's what it sounded like?
Yeah, it would sound like somebody was, like, sort of tiptoeing through the room and like bumping into shit
like
as they did
horror
it.
Movie.
I hated it.
I'm just gonna try to forget that one. I have one that comes to mind, and it's pretty stupid. But
okay.
This was when grade 8, so I was 13. So in my old house, there was.
Oh, sorry. Wait. one last detail that I forgot to mention is that room was always so cold. So much colder. So much colder than the fucking Tupperware container that I was living in. And like, they're on the exact same level, so it didn't make any sense to me. It wasn't like it was like a couple degrees, it felt like there was AC, like the window ACs. It felt like there was like a window AC in that room at all times.
That's kind of the nail in the coffin.
One in my room. I fucking I hated it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it a lot worse. Okay, so we're at my old house. I was 13. So the layout is
oh my god, it's getting sorry, I hate to interrupt again. It's getting so dark. I feel like I'm like in pitch black.
Can you turn your lights on?
I'll go turn the light on.
Okay, so this old house I lived in was it was literally an old house, like from. It was old. It was falling apart. Mm-hmm. There was something new to fix every 6 months. So there's the main floor. There's like living room, dining room, kitchen, and then one bedroom. Stairs that go upstairs to 3 bedrooms, and then a basement. So the way it was laid out was in like sort of an L shape was the living room, and then the dining room. So if you're in one corner of the living room, you can see the whole living room and the whole dining room. And then on the far end of the dining room is a pretty big door that goes to the kitchen, and you can see the stairs that go upstairs. So for context, there was a couch in the corner of the living room where if you're sitting on that couch, you can see the whole living room, you can see the whole kitchen, or not the kitchen, you can see the whole dining room, and then through the dining room, you can see the stairs going up, and you can see where the kitchen would begin and whatever. So, we're 13, it's me and my childhood best friend. We're sitting on the couch on our laptops. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and it's very dark, like there's no lights on. We're just, or there might have been a lamp on. It was very dim, like you barely see anything. So we're sitting there, and we're probably playing MapleStory.
Oh my god.
I see something out the corner of my eye move from the kitchen past the stairs, and then going in that direction, you've got 2 options. You go into the bedroom where my grandparents were sleeping,
or you go upstairs,
or the tiny little bathroom. Or you could go up the stairs. But it walked like, so you can see the stairs going up. It walked from, like, just
oh, okay.
Yeah. So in the direction it was going, there's nowhere for it to go. And especially nowhere.
There's nowhere for it to go.
There's nowhere for it to go especially because the door to my grandparents' room is closed, and then there's a tiny bathroom. So like
ghosts cannot go through doors.
So no, it wasn't a ghost. So I see this thing in the corner of my eye. I look over and I see it looks like the size of a very large dog, and it's black.
I do not like that. What?
It's just black.
You be having the chupacabra in your house? What the hell?
And then I look over and I see I see it on its way through the door frame, and I'm like, what the fuck? I turn over to my friend and I'm like, did you see that? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what did you see? And he's like, he describes it. And I'm like, yeah, I saw that too. And then we're sitting there and like petrified, we can't move, and we're on our laptops. So we start Googling like demon thing. So
okay.
So we find a bunch of and the story gets spookier after this in the future. So we find a bunch of like writings about something called a YENA, YENA, which is like a demon dog black thing, like I described, and it was like old like folklore or whatever, right? And we're so for years after that, we would be like, remember the YENA? And he'd be like, yeah. And we're like, well, where'd he go? Like,
where'd he go?
Is he still in the house?
Holy shit.
We never saw it after that. So that's kind of weird, right?
Yes.
Here's where it gets weirder. About a year ago, so like almost 15 years after this happened, I'm just sitting there and I remember like, oh, the YENA.
Sitting and there in your current home.
I'm just sitting somewhere. I don't know, wherever I was. And I remembered this and I'm like, I want to read about it. Like, I'm bored. I was probably bored at work and I Googled YENA. There's nothing. It's like it never existed. And we were both on our laptops reading about them for an hour. And it's like, there is almost no trace of a YENA on Google.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not like misremembering the name?
No, I'm 100% sure because I was still friends with him for over a year after that, and we would talk about it all the time. And I hate
that. I hate that.
I can't explain it.
The
it's like
YENA came into your room and wiped your internet history.
So, I have something that can kind of discredit this and make it kind of funny.
Oh, here we go.
But I don't think it was this. I did at the time have a large black dog. But it slept with my mom in her room on the second floor with the door shut, and he had a very loud clicky click on his tag and his click click clack when he walked. So it wasn't the dog. It wasn't the dog.
That doesn't explain the YENA. Holy
and it's
shit.
also like, okay, so let's say my dog
your dog
phases
said,
through the door.
let me walk on two legs, love.
My dog
Through the kitchen.
phases through my mom's bedroom door. And then he phases through...
Down the stairs?
No, not down the stairs. He phases through the ceiling and comes into the kitchen.
Let's
because
go.
The YENA came from the kitchen. You can't get to the kitchen without coming down the stairs and me seeing you.
Sure.
So he goes through the door, and then he goes through the ceiling, and then he walks, for some reason, through the, like, in my line of vision, and then what? He went into the bathroom, and he stayed there until he just teleported back to my mom's room. It wasn't the dog. It wasn't the fucking dog.
I feel like it could have been the dog. One, because you're a dummy, and two, because you're both kids, and, like, you're sitting there. First of all, you were sitting, so it may have looked bigger. Pudge was big. Like, he was a fat motherfucker. Like, he was big. So, like, I feel like it could have very well have been the dog, and you guys were just so focused on what you were doing.
But it was silent.
But was it, though?
Yeah. We were sitting there in the dead silence. Or maybe we had headphones on. This story's falling apart.
The story thickens here. The story thickens.
Okay, so maybe there's some loose ends here.
Earlier when you were talking about how you found a bunch of writings, initially when you said that, I thought
like
that
on
you
the
meant
wall?
like you went to investigate and you found like you found like writings on the wall. And I was like, oh, this is juicy.
Oh, like
What?
Satan is in my home?
Oh my! The YENA with her memoirs on the wall.
Holy shit.
Now I'm gonna Google YENA after this to see if I find it.
So that's the thing, right? Regardless of what it was, my
that's
dog.
the most interesting part to me.
It's
is
gone.
The
It's
fact
gone.
that you cannot find
Like-
any trace of this thing.
There was enough
sure.
information about YENAs on Google for, first of all, for us to be able to find it by Googling like Black Demon Dog. And second of all, for us to read about it for over an hour. And now there's nothing.
That's so
nothing.
funny.
Like, I'll look it up right now. I'm just going to type YENA Demon Dog.
What if you Google?
The first... Oh. I'm going to read you the first... The first result is really good. Furaffinity.net. This is somebody's OC.
Let's go.
And then the next two results are Hellhound and Demon Dogs, both articles on the Call of Duty wiki.
Well, maybe you were just looking at somebody's furry OC and thought it was the demon in your room.
Oh my
Maybe that's what was happening the entire time.
Yeah, there's literally nothing about YENAs at all anywhere.
That's good. That's a juicy one. I like that.
So I think is that we're gonna call it? Is that it?
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and call it there before we get any more demonic up in this podcast.
Okay.
YENA, if you're watching, please contact Jordan.
Please, I have a dog you can be friends with. Just don't.
There's unresolved sexual energies there.
This happened organically at the end of the last episode, and I want to do it again. Tinho, please show them your dope man bun.
Oh, it's not a man bun, though.
It's not a man bun. It's not a bun.
I can't tell. I don't know if
I
it's
love
shown
that
on there.
it's at the point where the ponytail thing is color and the hair is black. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I need a haircut, but
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea if that's showing, but...
It must be. I mean, I can kind of picture the angle from here. And then I want to show my tattoo that I fucking love. I just got it a week ago today. Look, we got some flowers. If you can't see this, I'm so sorry. We got a rose. It goes up pretty far. Rose, lotus, and then in here is Ellie's tattoo from The Last of Us, baby. If you haven't seen or watched The Last of Us, do it. Either play it or watch the movie on YouTube. Because it's
Watch the movie? Well, in any case, thank you, obviously, for joining us once again.
That's all, folks.
This was our second time filming this, so it might seem a little more rehearsed than usual, but it is what it is.
Also, if you happen to be watching a very poor quality Discord video call of this, that means that Tino's camera fucked up again.
Video fucked again, but I think it's okay.
But hey, at least you had a backup. And now I'm looking at the Discord camera just in case.
We're good.
All of our contact info, all of our socials are in the description. You got my channel, Tino's channel, both of our Twitches, and that's it. And our Instagrams. Tino just became an affiliate on Twitch. You can subscribe to him.
Ooh,
you
fun
can
stuff.
get a
Give
little
me money.
Tetra, his dog. You can get a little Tetra
We
dog
have Tetra
emoji.
emotes.
And
yes, come say hi. That would be fun.
And also, you can become the #1 top gifted sub person for like $30.
That's the place that needs to be filled.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for staying this long, and have a super sexy rest of the week or whatever you may be experiencing at the moment.
New podcast episodes every month on the 15th. Next episode will be a Christmas episode. I don't know what that means, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Bye!
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks, friends.